Welcome back to Magnetic Mindset, the place where we strip away the noise and talk about the things that are quietly shaping and sometimes breaking us. Today, we're going to talk about something that might hit home harder than you expect. It's about love, relationships, and how modern dating is doing more damage to us than anyone wants to admit. Technology has completely changed how we connect. It's changed how we communicate, how we meet people, how we build relationships, and how we fall in love. Some of these changes have been for the better, but let's be real, some of them have been for the worse. Back in the day, falling in love was an art. It was romance. It was mixtapes, handwritten notes on napkins, love letters tucked into lockers. It was calling someone just to hear their voice. Now it's a swipe. It's a text. It's scrolling through a catalog of faces, picking someone like you're adding them to your shopping cart. The romance of the past isn't just fading, it's dying. And that's affecting us more than we realize. We're losing patience. We're losing intimacy. We're losing the very thing that made love feel magical in the first place. Modern dating has shifted our mindset from building connection to chasing convenience. But the truth is, this convenience comes at a cost. One of the first things that's been destroyed is clarity. Before dating apps and late night suggestive texts, people actually knew when they were in a relationship. It was simple. You liked someone, you asked them out. If they liked you back, you dated. You met face to face, so there was no hiding behind a phone screen or avatar. People were upfront because they had to be. There wasn't this layer of social media to blur the lines between friendship, flirting, and emotional detachment. Now, it's all gray areas. Passive relationships that aren't defined turn into situationships. Those murky half relationships where no one really knows what's happening, but both parties pretend it's fine. We've gotten comfortable with ambiguity because it feels safer than rejection. But the truth is, the more you avoid defining things, the more you set yourself up for heartbreak. Modern dating has also trapped us in something psychologists call the paradox of choice. We live in an era of endless options. Dating apps promise you hundreds of potential matches within a 50-mile radius. You can swipe and filter people like you're shopping online. And on the surface, that sounds amazing, right? More choices should mean better chances at love. But that's not what's happening. The reality is, the more options you have, the harder it becomes to choose. The pressure to pick the perfect person keeps you stuck in indecision. And even when you do pick someone, you're haunted by the thought that maybe you could have done better. Maybe you swiped left on the one. So you stay in this loop. Endless scrolling, endlessly searching, never satisfied. Back then, you dated the person sitting in front of you. You gave them your attention. You built something slowly, brick by brick. Now, people go on a date while wondering about the next person in their inbox. They're physically present, but mentally somewhere else. Mindset kills real connection before it even has a chance to grow. And it gets worse. With online dating, more relationships are being built on text messages and DMs instead of real face-to-face interaction. People fall in love through their phones, but they forget that communication is about more than just words. It's about body language, tone, energy, the little micro expressions that tell you who someone really is. You can't learn that through a screen. You can't fully trust a connection built only on texts. That loss of in-person communication is slowly eroding basic social skills. People don't know how to handle awkward silences anymore. They don't know how to read cues or build comfort in person. And when you finally do meet someone offline, it can feel like you're dating their online persona, not the real them. That disconnect creates lone relationships. Another thing no one talks about is how modern dating has given rise to a me-first mentality. Social media lets us curate the perfect version of ourselves. We can edit our pictures, filter our lives, and project exactly who we want the world to see. That disconnect between who we are and who we pretend to be fuels the ego. It turns dating into a game of performance, not authenticity. People are more focused on how they appear to others than on actually connecting. We chase validation through likes, comments, and attention. We treat relationships like transactions. What can I get from this person? How do they make me look? What need can they fill for me right now? That's why hookup culture has exploded. That's why people ghost, breadcrumb, or bench each other. It's easier to swipe to the next person than to actually open up. And here's something even more dangerous: trauma dumping. In the digital age, oversharing has become the norm. People unload their deepest wounds onto someone they just met. They blur boundaries, confuse intimacy with dumping emotional baggage, pulling strangers into their unresolved pain. Real relationships require vulnerability, but they also require timing, trust, and consent. When someone drops their trauma on you too soon, it's not love, it's self-sabotage. All of this hookup culture, trauma dumping, ego-driven dating, has created a world where people aren't really looking for partners anymore. They're looking for placeholders, someone to distract them from loneliness, someone to validate their image, someone to fill the space until something better comes. Technology has given us more access than ever before. With that access comes detachment. We treat people like profiles, not humans. We ghost when we're bored. We bench people to keep them as options. We swipe past genuine connections because we're chasing an idealized fantasy that doesn't exist. And let's be honest, this isn't just about dating apps or social media. It's about us. How we've allowed technology to rewire our expectations for love. We've traded depth for speed. We've replaced patience with convenience. And in doing so, we've made real connection feel almost impossible. It's not all doom and gloom. The truth is, the solution is still in your hands. It starts with awareness. It starts with deciding to do things differently. You can choose to date with intention. You can choose to have real conversations face to face. You can choose to stop treating people like disposable options and start seeing them as actual human beings with flaws, complexities, and value beyond a dating profile. Technology isn't going anywhere. Dating apps aren't going to disappear. Social media will keep evolving. But the question is, will you evolve with it? Or will you let it control you? Will you keep chasing quits of validation? Or will you slow down and build something real? At the end of the day, love isn't supposed to feel like an algorithm. It's supposed to feel human. And if we forget that, we'll keep waking up lonely in a world full of connections. If this message hit home for you, drop your thoughts in the comments. Have you felt the weight of modern dating? Are you ready to approach love differently? I want to hear your story. If you got value from this, hit the like button and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Make sure you subscribe to Magnetic Mindset for more real conversations about love, life, and human connection. Stay sharp, stay intentional, and remember, real love is worth the effort. I'll catch you in the next one.